December 18th, 2025. My name's David Knox, and yes, I am still alive, contrary to the questions and comments. I'm here. And I have a few choice words for my left shoulder. You must remember it's a new shoulder, brand new metal replacement. And I reached around to grab my lumbar support on my seat and did not, I forgot I had a new shoulder, and I had a few choice words before this. If I was feeling a little more agitated, that's why. A couple of updates. One, very important, is medication for the dizziness. I complain about blacking out, blacking out, passing out, vision closing, going blackish, whitish. When you lose oxygen or high blood pressure, or your blood pressure drops, it just depends on how your body reacts to it. But I went to go see a nurse practitioner because my regular doctor was not in. And believe it or not, she gave me some medicine, which is pretty popular, meclizine, otherwise known as Antivert. Very, very genius name there, anti-vertigo or something. Yeah. I take that three times a day, and it actually is the first medication to help with the dizziness, the drunken feeling up here in your head and your eyes. And I recommend that to anyone who's having issues for not vertigo, but not things spinning, but that general feeling we have with MSA that our head has that dizzy sensation, so to speak. Otherwise, it's called something else. So methazine, it's generic and that doesn't cost too much. Well worth it. Second, another thing that is very interesting is I'm going to show you this. I'll probably forget. We have issues with walking, and it's very important that we don't do certain things. And what I mean is the bottom of our spine. I broke my back in middle school high jumping. I broke my L4, L5. You see here, high jumping, and it was fused with a bone graft. There was no metal installed like they do today. Back now, with this fusion that I had many years ago in school, starts to fall apart. One thing that does not help is when we have back issues. And I've had back issues since I broke my back in middle school. My mom told me that, well, your back will never be the same. I'm sure she meant that of many certain surgeries, ankle, your knees, your shoulder, whatever. More so the back, because we use our back for practically everything, literally. I went to my doctors because I'm being forced to lay on my back and sleep more and more. I have my non-invasive ventilation machine, um, which, if I sleep on my sides, I'm used to sleeping on my sides. I have never in history outside of a hospital slept on my back. I've only been on my back when I was in a hospital, and I've been in the hospital many, 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 many times before MSA for major surgeries, operations, pneumonia, sicknesses. I hate the hospital beds because you have to sit on your back. I can't stand that. It kills me to sit on my back mentally, not physically. Now, as we progress and get older, I am starting to get more and more pain. My back is wearing out. And some of the things that we talked about, my doctors and things, we talked about mild to moderate narrowing of the disc space from L5 to S1 and increased lordosis. So I was like, okay, well, let me see exactly, like Google, like, put this in simple terms for me. And what it's saying is common age-related wear, all combined with an exaggerated inward curve. My back has seen a lot of pain and misery in its lifetime. I mean, I was a physical person. I'd be playing basketball at 2 a.m. in the morning in East Chicago, Indiana. I mean, physical. And it's not unusual for people like us who are highly active for our lives to have a lot of wear and tear. Okay. You can also have a lot of wear and tear by having a poor diet and being obese, being overweight, even more morbidly. You could be a child that has scoliosis. You could be an adult that has scoliosis. I had a bit of scoliosis as a kid, but I seem to have straightened out, and my mom would like to hear that. I've seemed to straighten it out, and I don't have scoliosis, any type of scoliosis anymore. I had that for years after I moved up here to Northwest Indiana. But the thing about lordosis is something I never heard of. And because I am having to sleep on my back, it's pushing in the L5S1 region, and it hurts. There's a spasm that paralyzes you for an instant as you walk. If I sleep on my back, and I cannot wake up, I cannot move my feet when I wake up, which we kind of talked about, where it says I have moderate multi-level lumbar spondylosis. And again, the back, my spine has wear and tear changes. Bone spurs are present at several layers of your lower back, causing symptoms like pain, stiffness, tingling, or weakness. That's why PT, medications, activity modification, the surgery at worst case scenario. And I've had back surgeons tell me for a year, probably 10 plus years ago, that I was going to need two new discs, my L5 and L4. And now maybe S1 might be included, but there's no way I'm going to have a surgical option right now, because that would take me out of everything. You must take care of your back. And the one thing I want to show you is a good picture here. They actually had one on Google. Of course, it's see here. Yeah. It's a very exaggerated inward swing of your spine, inward motion, permanent motion, unless corrected. I like that picture. And the reason why I do that is because of the way I walk. There's not many people that walk the way I do. And the way I walk, for the most part, which is hard to break, and I'm trying to break it, is on my tippy toes, my forefoot. I rarely walk on my back foot or heel, and my arches hardly ever touch the ground. I mean, with the back of my foot being down. It's always in the front of my foot, forefoot. I don't know what to call it specifically, but forefoot and my tippy toes is what I walk on. And a lot of that is attributed to sports. That's how you play basketball. Some football, some soccer, you're forward leaning on your tippy toes. And with my gait being very out of balance, my walking and my gait being broad and very bad, dragging my feet, just clumping my feet on the ground, like a duck. But more the dragging of my feet, but both of them now, left and right. I find it easier to control myself on my tippy toes. But walking on your tippy toes in front of your foot brings other risks that are just, not many people of us with MSA can do that safely. And it's not perfect, because if you're on your tippy toes, anything you hit with your toes while walking, the edge of a couch, a charger, a cat, Lola, the Chihuahua sauce, Italian greyhound that we have, very cute dog. Anything we touch with our toes, we fall. There is no recovering from walking on your tippy toes. You're using your tippy toes fundamentally to walk in every instance that you have, whether it's getting out of bed, going to pee, going to the kitchen, get something to eat, walking to the couch, walking to the kitchen, walking outside, bringing into the garbage bins. It's all on my tippy toes. And when I say I fall, I usually fall into a lot of things because I walk on my tippy toes. That's the only way I can really walk anymore, because walking normal, heel first, heel first rotating into your forefoot, front of your foot, tippy toes, is extremely hard because by the time I'm halfway through that motion, my knees have locked up, my legs are straight, completely straight, my knees are locked, and my body starts to lurch forward. So I can't really walk the regular way anymore. I have to walk on my tippy toes. And I'll get you a video of the camera inside our wise cameras to show you what that looks like. And I mean, it's nice because we have wooden floors, so I can still slide my feet without any repercussions. If you have carpet, tippy toe walking would be horrible for you because it's like walking outside on concrete or something. You're going to stick into the carpet and fall. The bad part about walking on your tippy toes is also that we have wooden stairs, very slippery. Any misstep, you're screwed. Literally screwed walking on your tippy toes. Lordosis is the inward sway, inward curve of your lumbar section, your cervical, I think it's up here. The S section down below um, happens because of our posture. You know, am I overweight? Sure. Right now I'm 205. I'm on my way down from 211 after Thanksgiving. I'm down to 205. I lost it all this week in the last couple of days. I'm not eating while I'm bored. I'm I'm a I'm an eater while I'm bored. I'll go find something to eat for no reason at all. So I stopped that. I lost 6 pounds already. But we can also be overweight. I usually walk with my stomach outwards, like puffing up your chest to be prideful of something, right? That's how I walk, and it's not because I'm fat or overweight, which I am. I think all of us are technically are overweight, but the BMI difference from 27 to 25 is a big difference to fat. Your muscle. And the one thing the doctors noted, and you have to realize, is we have a neuromuscular disease. Right? It's neurodegenerative, but it's neuromuscular. So we start losing our function of muscles as well, and our fine motor control. So we have to find ways to adapt to walking. And like I walk on my tippy toes, which is extremely dangerous, or you end up in a wheelchair or a walker. I literally should be in a walker or at least a walker right now in my house or and outside. But I don't because as long as I have the right shoes, running shoes, Nike, Nike fly knits and stuff like that, I'm able to flex the shoes. They bend very easily, and I can actually make my steps on the front of my feet safely. And even in ice and snow, I have about bit the bullet a few times on ice this last couple of weeks. The daughter heard me and saw me slide. I slid on my left tippy toes on the ice for about a foot distance, and did not know when my foot was going to stop. The bad thing to walk on ice with tippy toes because all of your weight is on one just a very small point instead of very broad foot. The whole foot, it's the surface area. And I wasn't wearing boots. I don't have wearing boots anymore. I haven't worn them since work, so I have to go buy some. What I'm trying to get to is you need to either make lifestyle changes to, you know, all of us to lose a little bit of weight or at least stomach fat, stomach muscle. I doubt many of us have six packs, or 8 packs of abs and stuff. We have to make lifestyle changes like I'm trying to do, to lose the belly fat so that I don't have to rely on this tippy toe walking, which is causing lordosis. And because of that, anytime I sleep on my back to give my bad shoulders a rest, this one's torn and has been replaced. Anytime I sleep on my back, I wake up and I can't move my legs because of the inflammation around my spine because of lordosis. And even when I get up, my wife will sit me up, I'll be good. But even walking for the next 6, 7 hours afterwards, every step I take is a spasm to the spinal cord and literally jolts me to where if it was an extended spasm, I would simply fall over. which is, my big concern right now. So I do some exercises to flex my spine, stretch it out. But we must be careful because we all can't walk on our tippy toes. It's unfortunate. I bet my money I will keep walking to almost until the day I die. Hopefully not on my tippy toes. So, I have to remind myself to stop eating so much food, sweets or whatever, and also that I need to be mindful that I could try to walk properly and not on my tippy toes. So, I've had a bad back for a long time, and there's a lot of things that go into why lordosis is forming is because of a lot of the muscle bad back damage and changes up wear and tear that I've had more than probably most people watching me because of sports and being athletic and just doing crazy things that men do, right? Especially when we're active in MSA. Even with my job, I was very active and did very, crude things while working, very physical things with the backs. We just a heads up that, you know, when you have a bad shoulder that's still healing from replacement surgery and all the muscles inside of it, a total reverse shoulder replacement. Shoulder has been torn and the tearing has increased because I'm relying on my right arm to make up for my left shoulder. It puts even more pressure on my back. I only get relief sleeping on my back now because I can't sleep on either side because of my shoulder. Anti-inflammatory medication and things like that don't really help on this. I have lots of inflammation medication for the back. They don't do a lick of good until it wears itself off 6 or 7, 8, or even 8 hours later in the afternoon. Then I can walk. I can walk properly. Only thing that really helps is like narcotics. Hydrocodone, Norco, things like that. I have muscle relaxers, and you have to be careful because yes, they'll prescribe you muscle relaxers, but what if you have urinary issues or gastrointestinal issues? Muscle relaxers are going to make that worse, which is why I've cut back a lot on some of my muscle relaxers. It makes it even worse. When you do, and then on top of that, you drink coffee, you drink tea, you drink pop or soda, Coca Cola. The caffeine is a diuretic, makes you OP on top of that. So, you know, I know many of us are on muscle relaxers. Muscle relaxers are not helping our bladder and our GI tract. So, they're good for back and shoulders, but they come at a cost of you having an accident while you're out and about or even in the house. Everyone in the MSA knows about urgency and incontinence, but both ways of the urinary tract and in the GI tract. Yeah, there's many times that I'm sitting on my couch 20 feet away from the bathroom and that urge is there and it's done, right? Muscle relaxers are great, but they don't help some of the issues we have, and say more so when it comes to walking. So again, I'm alive. I love you guys. Voice is still here. My voice is like this because of the left vocal cord I've lost has been paralyzed, doesn't work anymore. The raspiness is so losing my left vocal cord makes me speak softly and or yell. So right now I'm yelling as much as I can to be loud because I've lost it. So if you ever want to hear me speaking low, you won't. You won't. Even my wife doesn't hear me. So I have to literally yell like I am now. But the raspiness you hear is saliva pulling, which can be treated. It can be helped by proper swallowing. With MSA, we have thick saliva. Our saliva glands change. And also, swallowing saliva changes. We start to accumulate or have saliva pulling, which is related to the throat cancer or MSA, right? Neuromuscular disease. But because we lose a fine motor control, we don't swallow properly. So there's always saliva left over. And it sits there and it sits there and it sits there and it sits there. And late this month or early next month, I'm going to get some physical therapy for swallowing. That's going to try to help me get this saliva down because it is rather thick, like molasses. If you ever had to spit it out when you brush your teeth or something, we just had some DNA tests done, and it says spit into the bottle. I'm like, it's embarrassing that they're such thick spit for a DNA test. um, so this thing happens. I'm keeping my voice. Hopefully, I keep my other vocal cord with me. I keep speaking, keep practicing, keep yelling at you guys on on my channel. But that's why I have the speech and the raspiness. And the stuttering is something I've never done before. Outside of being a child and being nervous, I never stuttered. And having five motor control taken away from you means I can't articulate words. I can't say them properly. And this is the best speaking ever gets for me. This is the best. You should see me at Walmart. You should see me at the doctor's office. You should see me out in public with even with friends come over to the house. It completely changes to where I can't get words out because because all the activity and sensations around me makes me even more nervous, and anxious. I don't have anxiety, but all the stimulus makes it so you can't spit out words. So maybe one day I'll show you what it's like when I have people around. I can prepare their faces or whatever, but at some point I just stop talking because the words are not going to get out. I can speak properly right now because I'm focusing on enunciating, but it won't last for very long. I just start to multitask and do other things. Speech is something very interesting with them and say, you either slur your way down or like me, you find motor control taken away and you lose your speech. The best to you on this end of the year. Uh, Everyone enjoy their time off with families. Be safe, drive safe, but don't rush. And again, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments or suggest, um, I have a suggestion from a lovely lady, I believe, wanting to talk about the magic mushroom, which I'm going to make a video today to tomorrow about. Magic mushroom. Yes, it's probably what you're thinking about, but I want to break it down to the studies, both educational studies and clinical studies, and just people's comments about the magic mushroom that's supposed to do things for people like us with MSA. But that's our next video. And again, I will see you again. Thank you. I love you all. Have a great end of the year. Be safe. Please be safe. Bye bye.